Thank you for your patience in waiting for me and my grand return, hopefully to regularly scheduled broadcasting, but I feel like I say that every time I return and then something gets in the way. But for now, we're back for today. We'll just be happy with what we got, ain't we? We're in a very pretty purple place. Look at this place. So pretty. No, more pink than purple, let's face it. But I like pink. Pink is great. Hello, everyone. I am wearing the red dress of adventure. Not sure about rating, but hello, Nimby. Hello, Normal Size Phantom. Hello, Benjamin. Hello, Dumplestar. Hello, Extem. Hello, Dread Excalibur. Welcome. Cotton Candy Cows. Yeah. Not just any Brady, but a regularly scheduled program, Brady. Yes, I hope this week that I can get back to regularly scheduled programming. Fingers crossed that I feel okay to do so. Because it's been a week. I hope you all had a wonderful Valentine's Day yesterday. I was working, so mine wasn't great. I had a nice evening, though. We got pizza and watched a romantic movie about an astronaut and a musician falling in love. It was called Lost in Starlight. It was a Korean movie. Korean animated movie. Was good. You saw the Wuthering Heights movie? Normal Size Phantom told me about it. I have decided that I'm not gonna go see it because all I've heard is that it's basically Wuthering Heights fan fiction. porny fan fiction. So, it doesn't sound like my cup of tea. I don't want it. There was already so many issues with, like the Heathcliff stuff. Heathcliff being a bit... Heathcliff not being white and British looking, and then Linton not being white and British looking. The good, it looked genuinely gorgeous, and Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi had great chemistry. Wonderful. The bad, I can already say, isn't Wuthering. It is already toxic, yes. But I feel like, from what I've heard, the way the movie's toxic misses the point of the book completely. The bad, it's basically 50 Shades of Grey reskinned as Wuthering Heights. Yes, that is what I've heard. And I don't want to go watch that. I'm a little uncomfortable with the idea of a shared porno experience in the cinema. So that's what I don't want. It's not said that Heathcliff is black specifically, but he is definitely a person of colour. Whether we're not sure of his nationality. But exactly, why would he be British? It don't make sense. But he was definitely shouldn't have been cast as a white guy. And then, like I said, Linton, the one who's supposed to represent the, opposite choice, is the one who got cast as a person of... It's weird. It's weird, and I'm glad that I have decided to not go watch it. Anyway. I don't think I have too much to catch up on in my life. Like I said, I had a nice Valentine's Day. I've tried to chill out. Work hasn't helped me chill out. We had an auditor in. The auditor was like, haha, her cat's died this week. Why don't we spend that time, why don't we get the auditor in that week so that she can stress out about it more? It also does the thing I hate of all theatrical Wuthering Heights movie. I thought so. When they cast Margot Robbie as Catherine, and then never really said anything about another Catherine, I kind of suspected that it was gonna die. It wasn't gonna go most of the way through the book. Oh my god, you can't just add them all by the way. You're right, I take it back. Can't just ask Heathcliff why he's white. Can't be doing that. Rightio. Should we do some reading? I need to adjust the camera a minute. What should we do with the camera today? You wanna, be beside me while I read? I think that would be nice. Maybe we'll start, normal. As if we're just normal. And then I'll eventually run after you. I need to have it so that I'm kind of looking at you when I turn my head like this. still want to look at you. Stare into your soul and whatnot. Okay, so on local. Yeah, so you should follow me now. We could just walk through this lovely place together. Maybe they should be a bit smaller though. Although I did the thing where on the YouTubes where I do the vertical streaming too. Oh, Lordy. I could hear myself for a minute. That was awful. I don't want to hear me. You could both walk off a cliff together. Yeah! No suicide, please. We're gonna do our best not to suicide. Calm walking stream. Yes, even though I put on the title reading and running. Like, cause I could like put this like here and we could enjoy the scenery more than we read the book. Is it readable? Probably not. I don't know. Let's go. Off a Heathcliff! I love that. 10 out of 10. Good jokes. Right-yo. I don't remember what was going on, so... no. No, it was a good pun. It was a good pun. The pun passes. The pun passes. I believe Lancelot was going all around and doing a lot of random crap. And then sending off those people to go kiss Guinevere's feet. Nightly flirting, you may call it. Lancelot doing Lancelot things, yes, very much so. In the meanwhile, came a lady from the castle and cried... One second, we're not ready to walk. Here we go. Oh, Sir Lancelot, as thou art the flower of all knights in the world, help me get to my hawk, for she hath slipped away from me, and if she be lost, my lord, my husband is so hasty he will surely slay me. What is thy lord's name? Asked Sir Lancelot. His name, said she, is Sir Felot, a knight of the King of Northgales. Fair lady, said Sir Lancelot, since you know my name, and require me on my knighthood to help you, I will do what I can to get your hawk. Oh, look at this. This is a nice little sitting area. Really cute. Cute as heck. What if we had a little sit? What if I got distracted and we had a little sit? No, I can't sit in this outfit. I just realized I can't sit in this outfit for reasons. For reasons I cannot sit in this outfit. For skirt reasons, I cannot sit in this outfit. So, continue. And thereupon, alighting, he tied his horse to the same tree, and prayed the lady unarm him. So when he was unarmed, he climbed up and reached the falcon. That is a different type of bird than a hawk. And threw it. I'm just going to pick up this bird and yeet it out of the tree. So Felot, he has inner ear problems. Yep. Lancelot likes to show off his knighthood to all the pretties. He do. He lands a lot. If you know what I mean. Then suddenly came down out of the wood her husband, Sir Felot, all armed with drawn swords in hands, said, "Oh, Sir Lancelot, now I have found thee, I would have thee." In a fight, right? The hawk, falcon, they both fly, go, "Quah!" Basically the same thing, I guess so. And stood at the trunk of the tree to slay him. "Ha, lady," cried Sir Lancelot, "why have ye betrayed me?" "She hath done as I commanded her," said Sir Phelot, "and thine hour is come, and thou must die. It were shame." Oh, look at this. Pretty. Let's take this in. This pretty world. Said Sir Lancelot, "For unarmed to slay an unarmed man." "Thou hast no favour for me," said Sir Phelot. "Alas," cried Sir Lancelot, "that ever any knight should die weaponless." And looking overhead, he saw a great bough without leaves, and wrenched it off. Oh, I know this story! Has anyone been watching Fate Fake Strange, the most recent Fate anime? This story was referenced in there recently! Yeah! How exciting. How trendy of me to read this now. Yes. And wrenched it off the tree. Weapon, let's just pick up another bird and throw it like a javelin. Wrenched it off the tree and suddenly leapt down. Then Sir Phelot struck at him eagerly, thinking to have slain him. But Sir Lancelot put aside the stroke with the bow, and therewith smote him on the side of the head, till he fell swooning to the ground, and tearing his sword from his hands, he shore its neck through from the body. Then did the lady shriek in dismay. "Oh my!" I'm a couple of episodes behind because I have commitments. That's fair. Fate fandom unlocked. Then I won't specifically say how this story was referenced, but know that it was referenced. Then did the lady shriek dismayly. Dismayly, that's a fun word. And swooned as though she would die. But Sir Lancelot put on his armour, and with haste took his horse, and departed thence, thanking God he escaped that peril. And as he rode through a valley, among many wild ways, he saw a knight with a drawn sword chasing a lady to slay her. Oh my, not another damsel in distress. He's very good at finding these damsels. And seeing Sir Lancelot, she cried and prayed to him to come and rescue her. You think he would not eventually, but you know. It is terrible for a knight to die unarmed. 5 seconds later, he specifically disarms a knight to kill him. Being Lancelot is a kind of dog. He is. Bro fighting damsels faster than a cowboy can whip his pistol. Yes, he is. At that he went up, saying, "Fie on thee, knight! Why wilt thou slay this lady? Thou dost shame to thyself and all knights." "What hast thou to do between me and my wife?" replied the knight. "I shall slay her in spite of thee." "Thou shalt not harm her," said Sir Lancelot, till we have fought together." "Sirs," answered the knight, "thou dost ill, for this lady hath betrayed me." "He speakest falsely," said the lady, "for he is jealous of me without cause, and as I shall answer before heaven. But as thou art named the most beautiful, the most worshipful knight in all the world, I pray of thee thy true knighthood to save me, for he is without mercy. Oh my." Medieval divorce call. Yeah, what's with all these damsels? I went for a walk earlier and found not a single damsel, distressed or otherwise. Not a single damsel? You're not looking hard enough. Do you have magic swords? Are you a knight of the round? You need to go get knighted, and then maybe you'll find all the damsels. You need to have a wet bitch in a lake give you a sword, and then maybe you'll find the damsels. Sorry. Just like when I said web bitch, my brain was like, a dog would count, right? If a lady dog came up to you with a sword that happened to be wet. Oh, brain. Anyway. But as thou art named the most worshipful knight in the world, I pray thee of thy true knighthood to save me, for he is without mercy. Be of good cheer, said Sir Lancelot. It shall not lie within his power to harm thee. Sir, said the knight, I will be ruled as ye will have me. I will be ruled as ye will have me. I have no idea what that sentence means. Lancelot is a stand user, and his stand causes damsels within 30-meter radius when it comes to stress. I can't find a water lady to set me out for a long journey full of damsels. Shame. Well, there's your problem. You don't have a water lady. Also, yes, if a dog brought me a sword, I would 100% assume I am a knight. Correct! I mean, there's nothing purer than a doggo, right? So, like, if a dog brings you a magic sword, that's as good as a wet lady. Next page, please. There we go. So Sir Lancelot rode between the knight and the lady, and when they had ridden a while, the knight cried out suddenly to Sir Lancelot to turn and see what men they were who came riding after them. And while Sir Lancelot, thinking not of treason, turned to look, the knight, with one great stroke, smote the lady's head off. Oh, well, he didn't manage to save that one. Then was Sir Lancelot passing wroth and cried, Thou traitor! Thou hast shamed me for ever! And, alighting from his horse, he drew his sword, to have slain him instantly. But the knight fell on the ground, and clasped Sir Lancelot's knees, and cried out for mercy. Thou shameful knight, answered Lancelot, thou mayest have no mercy, for thou showedest none. Therefore arise and fight me. Nay, cried the knight, I will not rise till thou dost grant me mercy. Trees to meet you. Oh my god, a sheep? I found a sheep. Let me see if I can rotate him for you. Hey, look, I found Don Quixote. I spin me right, baby, right, like a wake up baby white. It's fine. We'll put the sheep on the piano. He can play music for us. Okay, perfection. That's how you play piano, right? Anyway, where were we? Got distracted for a minute there. New page. Now I will deal fairly by thee, said Sir Lancelot. I will unarm me to my shirt, and have my sword only in my hand. And if thou canst slay me, thou shalt be quit forever. That's how I play piano at least. Wonderful. I'm glad I got it right. That I will never do, said the knight. Then, answered Sir Lancelot, take this lady and the head, and bear it with thee, and swear to me upon thy sword, never to rest in thou comest, until thou comest to Queen Guinevere. He's just being like, hey, can you go to Queen Guinevere and tell her how awesome I am? Can you just tell her that I'm better than her husband and she should marry me? That I will do, he said. Now, said Sir Lancelot, tell me thy name. It is Pedivere, answered the knight. In a shameful hour wert thou born. I feel like that could be a wonderful insult now. You just be like in a bit of an online rant with someone and they're calling you all sorts of names and you can just end it with, in a shameful hour wert thou born. Terrifying. Medieval thirst tweeting. Yes! So Sir Pedivere departed, bearing with him the dead lady and her head. And when he came to Winchester, where the Queen was with King Arthur, he told them the truth. Afterwards did great and heavy penance for many years, and became a holy hermit. Holy hermit! Overwatch lobby shenanigans, yes! So 2 days before the feast of Pentecost, Sir Lancelot returned to the court, and King Arthur was full glad of his coming. And when Sir Gawain, Sir Ewain, Sir Sagramore, and Sir Ector saw him in Sir Kay's armour, they knew what well it was he who had smitten them all down. Wait, can I go down here? I can. New path unlocked. Smitten. With one spear. Anon came all the knights of Sir Turquoise had taken prisoner, and gave worship and honour to Sir Lancelot. Then Sir Kay told the king how Sir Lancelot had rescued him when he was near danger of his death, and oh, there's another path. I didn't know this existed. And said Sir Kay, he made Sir Key, not Sir Kay. Sir Kay is a different knight. He made the knights yield not to himself, but to me. And by heavens, because, oh my gosh, look at what we found. This world is pretty, so very pretty. And because Sir Lancelot took my armour and left me his, I rode in peace, and no man would have aught to do with me. Then came the road not taken, Robert Brave. Knights who fought with Sir Lancelot at the Long Bridge. Look at all these fights he's been in. And yielded themselves to Sir Kay, but said nay, he had not fought with them. It is Sir Lancelot, he said, that overcame ye. Next came Sir Meliot de Longris, and told King Arthur how Sir Lancelot had saved him from death. And so all Sir Lancelot's deeds and great adventures were made known. Now, the 4 sorceress queens had him in prison. How the 4 sorceress queens had him in prison. How he was delivered by the daughter of King Badger, and what deeds of arms he did at the tournament between the King of North Wales and King Badger. And so, at that festival, Sir Lancelot had the greatest name of any knight in all the world, and by high and low was the most honoured of men. Get damn. So basically he managed to show off a lot. A lot. Sir Biomins, vitamins. And Gareth. Good old baby Gareth. Yay! One of my favourite Fate Knights. Because she's a sweetie. She's such a little baby. I want to adopt her. But I feel like, one, it's not going to be a lady. And two, she might not be a baby. Absolute lugmags of the old ages. Indubitably. That's why he sent all of them back. Bayamans. I'm going to have to learn to say that properly. Again, King Arthur held the feast of Pentecost with all the table round, and after his custom sat in the banquet hall. And after his custom sat in the banquet hall before the beginning meat, waiting for some adventure. Then came there to the king a squire and said, Lord, now may ye go to meat, for here a damsel cometh with a strange adventure. Don't we love it when these adventures just fall into place? Bowmans, I would assume, because their many vowels just has to be French. Probably. Yes, Doctor, I do watch the Fate series. How could you tell without checking my mental state? It was, in fact, inevitable when I picked up this book that the Fate series was going to be mentioned a lot. It was inevitable. Sorry, I've lost it. There we go. So the king was glad, and sat down to meat. Anon the damsel came in, and saluted him, praying him for succour. What wilt thou? Said the king. Lord, she answered, my mistress is a lady of great renown, but is at this time besieged by a tyrant, who will not suffer her to go out of her castle. And because here in thy court the knights are called the noblest in the world, I will walk into a wall. I come to pray thee for thy succour. Where dwelleth your lady? Answered the king. What is her name, and who is he that hath besieged her? For her name, replied the damsel, as yet I may not tell it, because it's probably you know the one that we don't want to talk. What is down here? More paths, friends, more paths. Because it's probably Morgan Le Fay again. She's kind of the lady who turns up the most. Maybe Vivian if we're lucky. Woody damsels everywhere. As yet, I may not tell it, but she is a lady of worship and great lands. The tyrant that besiege her and wastes her lands is called the Red Knight of the Red Lands. I know him not, said, What happened to the punctuation? Why is everything just one big paragraph? It becomes very hard to tell who's speaking. Morgan Le Fago. Yes, the joke of the witch. Yes, that one. Is that? I want to know if there's a. No, I thought there might have been a cave over there, but there wasn't. I bet I can walk across the lake. Arthur ran when he had to drop the punctuation. The editor quit halfway through this book. Caves behind the waterfall? Let's go. No. No, it is not. Boo. Oh, that looks a bit creepy, doesn't it? I am missing an eye. Aye, aye, aye. I know him not, said Arthur, but I know him, Lord. But I know him, Lord, said Sir Gawain. He is one of the most perilous knights in all the world. Men say he hath the strength of 7, and from him I myself hardly escaped with my life. Oh, Lord Gawain, the knight failure is bringing his opinion in. Summits. Zelda games do lie. EP Oshi. She's always EP. That's my secret. I'm always EP. Fair damsel, said the king, there be here many knights that would gladly do their utmost to rescue your lady, but unless ye tell me her name and where she dwelleth, none of my knights shall go with you by my leave. See, Arthur's got half a brain cell here. Arthur knows Morgan's tricks. She knows that this may be bad, and also knows that his people have been caught by her craftiness before. She's been known to send pretty ladies to ensnare them. Now, there was a stripling at the court called Beanman. Beamains, who served in the king's kitchen. Oh my god, he's not even a knight. He's a kitchen hand. He's a pot wash. A fair youth and of great stature. 12 months before this time, he had come to the king, and he sat at meat at Whitsuntide, and prayed 3 gifts of him. And being asked what gifts, he answered, As for the first gift, I will ask it now, but the other 2 gifts I will ask on this day 12 months, whensoever ye hold your high feast. And said King Arthur, What is thy first request? This, Lord. He said, At thou wilt give me meat and drink enough for 12 months. From this time, and then I will ask my other 2 gifts. Okay, so the pot wash went to the king and went, hey, can I have 3 wishes? This world is a lot bigger than I thought. I had explored this world a little bit, to, like, scout it. But this is so much bigger than I... Dang, Arthur got striplings in the car. Striplings in the kitchens. And the king, seeming that he was a goodly youth, and deeming that he was come of honourable blood, had granted his desire, and given him into the charge of Sir Key, the steward. But Sir Key scorned and mocked the youth, calling him Beamans, because his hands were large and fair. I was trying to remember what hands is in French, but I don't know. And putting him into the kitchen, where he had served for 12 months as a scullion, and in spite of all his churlish treatment, Just gonna jump off a cliff a minute. Whee! It wasn't a very high cliff. It's fine. We're safe. He got yowie hands. He do! He is Sir Yowie Hands from here on. Had faithfully obeyed Sir Key, but Sir Lancelot and Sir Gawain were angered when they saw Sir Key so churlish to a youth that had so worshipful a bearing, and oft times had they given him gold and clothing. And now at this time came the young Yowie Hands to the king, while the damsel was there, and said, Lord, now I thank thee well and heartily that I had been 12 months kept in thy kitchen, and have had full sustenance. Now I will ask my 2 remaining gifts. Ask, said Sir King Arthur, on good faith. These, Lord, said he, shall be my 2 gifts. The one, that thou wilt grant me this adventure of the damsel, for to me of right it belongeth, and the other, that thou wilt bid Sir Lancelot make me a knight, for of him only will I have that honour, and I pray that he may ride after me, and make me a knight when I require him. Why don't you become a knight now? Oh, we're back. We're back to this bit. There was a few other, like... Ooh, this is a fun little world. It's called Self-Reflection, if anyone wants to find it themselves. I would like to bring Lancelot as my portable knighter. Be it as thou wilt, replied the king, but thereupon the damsel was full wroth and said, I shall have a kitchen page for this adventurer. And so she took horse and departed. Cliffs are meant to be jumped, not in real life, but in VR chat, yes. In any game with no fall damage, yes. Sometimes in games with fall damage, if you are absolutely okay with those consequences. Then came one to Yowie Hands, and told him that a dwarf with a horse and armour were waiting for him, and all men marvelled whence these things came. But when he was on horseback and armed, scarce anyone at the court was a goodlier man than he, and coming into the hall, he took his leave of the king and Sir Gawain, and prayed Sir Lancelot to follow him. So he rode after the damsel, and many of the court went out to see him, so richly arrayed and horsed. I think, what way did I go last time? This way. Yet he had neither shield nor spear. Then Sir Key cried, I also will ride after the kitchen boy, and see whether he will obey me now. And taking his horse, he rode after him, and said, Know ye not me, Yowie Hands? Yea, said he, I know thee for an ungentle knight, therefore beware of me. Then Sir Key put his spear in the rest, and ran at him, but Yowie Hands rushed upon him with his sword in his hand, and therewith putting aside the spear, struck Sir Key so sorely in the side that he fell down as if dead. I feel like I didn't go this way last time. Yowie Hands used having long spears thrust in his teeth. He is... So Yowie Hands cannot be stopped by spears. Then he alighted, and took his shield and spear, and bade his dwarf ride upon Sir Key's horse. I see, so the dwarf is like his squire. Yowie Hands has his own squire. Oh, this is the piano room. That's where the sheep's playing our music. Oh, there's another waterfall. Does the waterfall have something behind it? No. Boo. Worth a try. By this time, Sir Lancelot had come up, and, Yowie Hands offering to tilt with him, they both made ready, and their horses came together so fiercely that both fell to the earth, sorely bruised. Then they arose, and Yowie Hands, putting up his shield before him, offered to fight Lancelot on foot. So they rushed upon each other, striking and thrusting and praying and parrying for the space of an hour. Oh my, they went at it for a good hour. And Lancelot marvelled at the strength of Yowie Hands, for he fought more like a giant than a man, and his fighting was passing fierce and terrible. So, at the last, he said, "Fight not so sorely, Yowie Hands." Is there nothing up here? Is there not another path somewhere? No, I guess not. Oh no, it goes around here. Aha! I knew there'd be something. Okay. Our quarrel is not such that we may not now cease. True, answered Yowie Hands. Yet it doth me good to feel thy might. Oh my god. Though I have not yet proved my uttermost. By my faith, said Sir Lancelot, I had as much as I could do to save myself from your unashamed, from you unashamed, therefore be in no doubt of any earthly knight. You never thought Lancelot was the standard watch type. Maybe just for men, but not for ladies. Oh my god. May I, then, stand as a proved knight? Said Yowie Hands. For that will I be thy warrant, asked Lancelot. Then I pray thee, he said, give me the order of knighthood. First, then, must thou tell me of thy name and kindred, said Sir Lancelot. If thou wilt tell them of to no other, I will tell thee, answered he. My name is Gareth of Yowie Hands is Gareth? Yowie Hands is Gareth. Yowie Hands is Gareth. Plot twist of the century. Yowie Hands is Gareth. Is that why Fate made him a girl? I didn't know, honestly. I don't know, unless I read it in Fate, I don't actually know that much about this. Clocked it right away. I didn't know! Plot twist. That's why Fate made him a girl, because it said he had feminine hands. And Fate was like, bet! You clocked that right away. Novel-sized phantom, you're smarter than me. And that's okay. A lot of people are. Oh my god, so Gareth is so Yowie Hands. I'll never look at that girl the same way anymore. Of Orkney. I am own brother of Sir Gawain. Gawain! Am I the only one who clocked on? Only one locked in here? Like I said, you and Novel-sized Phantom got that. I thought Fate made everyone a girl. I know very little about Fate. Fate makes a lot of people a girl, but they tend to like a reason to do so. With King Arthur, they have there was this video I watched not that long ago actually. That was someone explaining the 14 ways in which Fate explains gender bending. Because they try to explain it in plot. Why the servants are gender bended. Why these historical figures are gender bended. Many of them are just like, history got it wrong. Lancelot is still a guy, yes. Reasons to do so. Also Endeku. Endeku is a clay person. Endeku has no gender. It's been a while since I saw Phaser. Yes, Lancelot is always still a guy. Just 14 reasons. Not 14 servants specifically. This is just the 14 reasons they have gender-bended people. Some of them are for the lols. For the jokes. Like, there was an FBI, a former head of the FBI, apparently in a gag manga, who got gender-bended. Like, that's a pretty recent one. It's kind of funny when they do anything from, like, American history. Because American history is, like, quite new compared to the history of the world. So, it's always a bit more recent. It's funny. Ah, said Sir Lancelot, at that I am full glad, for truly I deemed thee to be of gentle blood. And then he knighted Sir Yowie Hands / Gareth. Ooh. Look at that. Look at, there's on top of the waterfall. There's something on top of the waterfalls over there. Wonder if we can get over that sometime. Time to watch 14 Reasons Why I Should Be Thrusting Your King Out. This is a very pretty world. Perfect for a nice chill return to streaming, I think. And so then he knighted Yowie Hands, and after that they parted company. And Sir Lancelot, returning to the court, took up Sir Key on his shield, and hardly did Sir Key escape with his life from the wound Yowie Hands had given him. And all the men blamed him for his ungentle treatment of so brave a knight. How dare you be mean to Yowie Hands? Then Sir Yowie Hands rode forth, and soon overtook the damsel. But she said to him in scorn, Return again, base kitchen page. What art thou but a washer of dishes? Damsel, said he, say to me what thou wilt. I will not leave thee, for I have undertaken to King Arthur to relive thy adventure, and I will finish on the end, or die. Thou finish my adventure, she said, anon thou shalt meet. Ooh, that's the. I think this is the end of the trail. I gotta go back now. But it's so pretty. Look at this nonsense. Pretty. What happened to the formatting here? My good golly gosh. It makes it hard to read while doing things. Nope, just a wall of text is all we're getting. Just two people talking about finishing. Anon thou shalt meet one, whose face thou wilt not even dare to look at. I shall attempt it, answered he. So, as they rode thus into a wood, there met them a man fleeing for his life. Whither fleest thou? Said Sir Yowie Hands. O Lord, he answered, help me, for in a valley hard by there are 6 thieves who have taken my lord and bound him, and I fear will slay him. Bring me hither, said Sir Yowie Hands. So they rode to the place, and Sir Yowie Hands rushed after the thieves, and smote one at the first stroke, and that he died, and then with 2 other blows slew the second and third, and then fled the other 3. And Sir Yowie Hands rode after them, and overtook, and slew them all. Then he returned and unbound the knight, and the knight thanked him and prayed him to ride to his castle, where he would reward him. Sir, answered Sir Yowie Hands, I will have no reward of thee, for but this day I made knight by the most noble Sir Lancelot. And besides, I must go with this damsel. Then the knight begged the damsel to rest that night at his castle. So they all rode hither, and ever the damsel scoffed at Sir Yowie Hands. Ah! I walked off a cliff. Whoopsie doopsie. We went into the abyss. And the abyss didn't like me. Like, we walked out there. Yeah. The damsel scoffed at Sir Yowie Hands as a kitchen boy, and laughed at him before the knight, their host. So he set his meat before him at a lower table, as though he were not of their company. Dude, he just saved you from 6 guys, and you put him at the kiddie table? Rude. And on the morrow the damsel and Sir Yowie Hands took their leave of the knight, and thanking him departed. Then they rode on their way till they came to a great forest, through which flowed a river, and there was but one passage over it. He set his meat before him. He did set his meat before him. Listen to all of these stories is making Don Quixote much better in hindsight. Should have read these first. Yup. These are rough. These are rough because, one, they're badly written. And there's too many ands being used in every single goddamn sentence of this whole ass book. 2, they're oral stories that would have been passed down. Therefore, they have no story structure whatsoever. Story structure was not a thing in campfire stories. Not until much later. I would love to know when story structure really became a thing. I imagine it's when book publication became more of a, like, accessible thing for people to study. Probably. Through which flowed a river, and there was but one passage over it, where it stood 2 knights armed to hinder the way. Wilt thou match those 2 knights? Wilt thou match those 2 knights? Said the damsel to Sir Yowie Hands, or return again? Don't fall. I would not return, said he, though they were 6. Therewith he galloped into the water, and swam his horse into the middle of the stream. And there I kept falling off the path. So this was one of the ways. What was the other side? I want to see if we can get to the place we saw before. So that's the way I think we were going. So I think we need to go this way. And then this is the lake we've crossed a couple times. Let's go this way. Yeah, cheating. Not cheating. Doesn't the Iliad have story structure? Then the Greeks were on it a bit more than we were. That's for sure. It's I suppose it's a question of what we class as story structure. Because what I'm thinking is like 3-act story structure. And a lot of what we take for granted, basically, in the terms of structure. Like, I want to go up there. How do we get up there? Probably over there. Let's go. But between this and the Philippine folktales we read, it just makes me think that, like, a lot of sit-down stories around the campfire, around in the town hall, in the taverns, They were just, and this happened and it was cool, rather than an actual story with character arcs and whatnot. So I guess it's the difference between mythology and folktale, because I wouldn't call Arthurian myths, or Arthurian stories are more folktale to me than they are mythology. They are stories passed, like I think a lot of Greek myths are probably that, whereas the Iliad and things are more like epics, whereas you've got like the smaller stories of like maybe Medusa and things like that maybe don't have the story structure but have lots of different versions that lots of different people have told across the eons. So yeah, that's what I mean. Reminds me of how Elizabethan plays used to have a 5-act structure, and Peter Greenaway used the same structure in his movies. Exactly. I think we take a lot of 3-act story structure to be the standard now. We take for granted that it wasn't always that way, and that there are different paths to be found. Storytelling is limitless, and should be treated as such. We found a cave! Anyway, enough of my rant about story structure. And swam his horse into the middle of the stream, and there, in the river, one knight met him, and they break their spears together, and then drew their swords, and smote fiercely at each other. This is interesting. Do I need to climb some rocks? I do need to climb some rocks to get there, but we will. At the last, Sir Yowie Hans struck the other mightily upon his helm, so that he fell down stunned into the water, and was drowned. Then Sir Yowie Hans spurred his horse onto the land, where we found the arches that we were talking about. Yay! I thought this was going to be a circle of arches, but it's not. Look. It's a bridge, which means the path keeps going. Let's go. Spurred his horse onto land, where instantly the other knight fell upon him. I feel like I need to put something here. Like it's some kind of video game, and I need to put an item here, and then the waterfall will open up. For a second. I'm finding it difficult to multitask at the moment. And there happens to be a nice place to sit over. Oh my god, what is that? We found the magic globe! With magic! And there's also a lovely little writing desk here, which we could sit at. Let me set this up. I know I said before that I can't sit in this outfit. But you know what I have? Potentially something new for you. Default! Oh yeah, that'd be good. And then if I set that... No, don't move it. Yeah. Anchor that to the world. Hiya. Oh, I can hold it. Can you see me? No, you can't see me very well. Let's put this out the way. Yeet! No, maybe not yeet. It could just sit there. It's fine. Yeah, I have something new. What do I have? I have da-da-da-da-da-da. Brighty with pants! Look, I have pants! Let me get it front so you can see the hold me. Yeah! Pants! So basically I can sit down without my skirt flapping up. That way I could do this. Sitting pose, sitting pose, sitting pose. And we can read. I can just sit down. I don't have to worry about running around. Briny with pants. Do, 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 do. I feel like we should zoom in a little so you can see me a bit better. Hi! Welcome to my desk. I am fabulous. Thank you, Nako-chan. This is good. I could pick up this book as well, I think. No, it was loading. Right. Now I don't have to run around like a mad lady. Which is fine. 9 times out of 10 is fine. But I have low energy right now. So we shall conserve energy and sit my butt down. Let's make this bigger. Put it over there. I think that's nice. Good layouts. Good layouts. Fashionable and functional. It is. I also have my shoulder vents back. I do love my shoulder vents. You don't have to run around like a mad lady, but I know you guys like it. So we did it for an hour, and now I get to sit down. I think that's fair. I think it's very fair that I get to sit my butt down now. And I can bring it so it's a bit easier to weed and finish my tea. Okay. Yummy. Where was I? I actually want to make this a little bigger now. It looks so small on my screen. Boop. I'm blind. There we go. Now, where were we? This is where we were. Let me make that a bit smaller. There we go. Beautiful. Part 2 of the stream, go! Now your shoulders can release the steam. Yes, very much so. I have sacrificed the shoulder bends on the new outfit, but it's worth it. It's worth it. So we had the first night he's already and smote fiercely each other. At last Sir Yowie Hans struck the other mightily upon the helm, and that he fell down stunned into the water was drowned. Then Sir Yowie Hans spurred his horse onto the land, where instantly the other knight fell on him, and they also brake their spears upon each other, and then drew their swords and fought savagely and long together. And after many blows, Sir Yowie Hans clove through the knight's skull and down to his shoulders. They rode Sir Yowie Hans to the damsel. Then rode Sir Yowie Hans to the damsel, but ever she still scoffed at him, and said, "Alas, that a kitchen page should chance to slay 2 such brave knights. Thou deemest now that thou hast done a mighty deed, but it is not so. For the first knight's horse stumbled, and thus he was drowned, not by thy strength. And as for the second knight, thou wentest by chance behind him, and didst kill him shamefully. Delulu is this woman's Salulu." "Damsel," said Sir Yowie Hans, "say what ye list, I care not, so I may win your lady, and wouldst thou give me but fair language, all my care were past, for whatsoever knight I meet, I fear them not. Thou shalt see knights that shall abate thy boast." "Base kitchen knave," replied she, yet say I this for thine advantage, for if thou followest me, thou wilt surely be slain, since I see all thou doest is but a chance. But the vent shall return. The vents are important. Doest is but by chance, and not by thy own prowess. Well, damsel, said he, say what ye will. Wherever ye go, I will follow. So they rode on until eventide, and still the damsel evermore kept chiding Sir Yowie Hands. Then came to a black space of land, whereupon was a black hawthorn tree, and on the tree there hung a black banner, and on the other side was a black shield and spear, and by them a great black horse covered with silk. And hard by sat a knight, armed in black armour, whose name was, you'll never guess, Knight of the Black Lands. Good lord. I said, so many ands, so many blacks, so many words, the word black, specifically. When the damsel saw him, she cried out to Sir Yowie Hands, flee down the valley, for thy horse is not saddled. Wilt thou for ever deem me a coward? Answered he. With that came the black knight. They had Musume 3 times. Of course they did. Of course they did. First confirmed Brommy Knight. With that came the Black Knight to the damsel and said, Fair damsel, else thou brought this knight from Arthur's court to be thy champion? Not so, fair knight, said she, he is but a kitchen knave. Then wherefore cometh he in such a array? Said he. It is a shame that he should bear thee company. I shall not be delivered from him, answered she, for in spite of me he rideth with me, and would to heaven you would put him from me, or now slay him, for he hath slain 2 knights at the river passage yonder, and done many marvellous deeds through pure mischance. I marvel, said the Black Knight, that any man of worship will fight with him. They know him not, said the damsel, and think because he rideth with me that he is well born. Truly, he hath a goodly person, and is kindly to be a strong man, replied the knight. But since he is no man of worship, he shall leave his horse and armour with me, for it were a shame for me to do him more harm. When Sir Yowie Hands heard him speak thus, he said, Horse or armour gettest thou none of me, Sir Knight, save thou winnest them with thy hands. Therefore defend thyself, and let me see what thou canst do. How sayest thou? Answered the Black Knight. Now quit this lady also, for it beseemeth not a kitchen knave like thee to ride with such a lady. I am of higher lineage than thou, said Sir Yowie Hands, and will straightway prove it on thy body. Then furiously they drove their horses at each other, and came together as it had been thunder. But the Black Knight's spear broke short, and Sir Yowie Hands thrust him through the side, and his spear breaking the head, left its point sticking fast in the Black Knight's body. Yet did the Black Knight draw his sword, and smite at Sir Yowie Hands with many fierce and bitter blows. But after they fought an hour more, he fell down from his horse in a swoon, and forthwith died. Rip, Black Knight, we hardly knew ye. Then Sir Yowie Hands alighted down, and armed himself in the Black Knight's armour, and rode on after the damsel.
But, notwithstanding all his valour, she scoffed at him and said, "Away, for thou savourest ever of the kitchen. Alas, that such a knave should mishap destroy so good a knight. Yet once again I counsel thee to flee, for hard is by a knight who shall repay thee. It may chance that I am beaten or slain," answered Sir Yowie Hands. But I warn thee, fair damsel, that I will not flee away, nor leave thy company, or my quest, for all that ye can say." "Go away!" "No." This whole chapter, this base yowie-handed kitchen knave can't possibly ball. Yes, correct. Anon, as they rode, they saw a knight come swiftly towards them dressed in all green, who, calling to the damsel, said, "Is that my brother the Black Knight, that he have brought with you?" "Nay, and alas," said she, "this kitchen knave hath slain thy brother through mischance." "Alas," said the Green Knight, "that such a noble knight as he would be slain by a knave's hand." "Traitor!" cried he to Sir Yowie Hands, "thou shalt die for this. Sir Perard was my brother, and a full noble knight." "I defy thee," said Sir Yowie Hands, "for I slew him knightly and not shamefully." Then the Green Knight rode to a thorn, whereupon hung a green horn, and when he blew 3 notes, there came 3 damsels forth, who quickly armed. "Call the bitches! Call the armour maidens!" Who quickly armed him, and brought him a great horse, and a green shield and spear. Then they run at one another with their fullest might, and brake their spears asunder, and drawing their swords, they closed in fight, and sorely smote and wounded each other with many grievous bows. I hope this Green Knight and the Black Knight have more brothers who are red, blue, and yellow, and pink, and they fight monsters when they're needed. Yes, I hope so too, but at the same time I don't hope so, because I don't want to murder the Power Rangers. I also feel like I might be a little bit bright right now. I'm gonna like turn the brightness down a little. Just looking at that, I feel like I'm a little bright. No, that's too dark. Maybe here? Nah, let's just be too bright. Why not? No! I didn't mean to reset that much. Hello. A little bit further away, please. Thank you. No, brownie after midnight. I can demonstrate that. It's called... with loud snoring. That. But there's a sound combo zoo. Hello, traveler. Oh, so itchy nose. At last, Sir Yowie Hands' horse. Yes, Sir Yowie Sir Yowie Hands' horse jolted against the Green Knight's horse and overthrew him. Then both alighted, and hurtling together like mad lions, fought a great while on foot. But then damsel cheered the Green Knight, and said, "My lord, why wilt thou let a kitchen knave so long stand up against thee?" Hearing these words, he was ashamed, and gave Sir Yowie Hands such a mighty stroke as clave his shield asunder. When Sir Yowie Hands heard the damsel's words, and felt that blow, he waxed passing wroth, and gave the Green Knight such a buffet on the helm that he fell on his knees, and with another blow Sir Yowie Hans threw him on the ground. Then the Green Knight yielded, and prayed him spare his life. "All thy prayers are vain," said he, "unless this damsel who came with me pray for thee."
"That I will never do, base kitchen knave. I won't even do it to save this man's life,"
said she. "Then shall he die?" said Yowie Hans. "Alas, fair lady," said the Green Knight, "suffer me not to die for a word. Oh, Sir Knight," cried he to Yowie Hans, "give me my life, and I will ever do thee homage, and 30 knights who owe me service shall give allegiance to thee." "All availeth not," answered Sir Yowie Hans, feeling mighty petty today, "unless the damsel ask me for thy life." And thereupon he made as though he would have slain him. Then cried the damsel, "Slay him not, for if thou do, thou shalt repent it." "Damsel, who has been in this story for quite a while, and has yet to have a name," said Sir Yowie Hans, "at thy command he shall obtain his life. Arise, Sir Knight of the green armour, I release thee." Then the Green Knight knelt at his feet, and did him homage with his words. "Lodge with me this night," said he, "and tomorrow I will guide ye through the forest." So, taking their horses, they rode to his castle, which was hard by. Turns out her name is Damsel A. Smith. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, Wait, I can't have it like that. That needs to go over there. And then I read this here. Yeah.
Yet still did the damsel rebuke and scoff at Sir Yowie Hans, and would not suffer him to sit at her table. "I marvel," said the Green Knight to her, "that ye thus chide so noble a knight, for truly I know none to match him, and be sure that whatsoever he appeareth now, he will prove at the end of noble blood and royal lineage. But of all this world the damsel take no heed, and ceased not to mock at Sir Yowie Hans. On the morrow they arose and heard mass, and when they had broken their fast, took their horses and rode on their way, the Green Knight conveying them through the forest. Then, when he had led them for a while, he said to Sir Yowie Hans, "My lord, my 30 knights and I shall always be at thy command, whensoever thou shalt send for us." "It is well said," replied he, "and when I call upon you, you shall yield yourself and all your knights unto King Arthur." "That we will gladly do," said the Green Knight, and so departed. It's very interesting. I just realised I'd been frozen for a little while. That we have a second Green Knight, because there's obviously a famous story with Gawain and the Green Knight, so it's kind of funny that his brother also has a story with a Green Knight. Damsel Smith an ancestor Bridie Rosa? Who knows? I know my nan has researched our history. I don't remember if there was any damsels, though. I know there were some rebels against the crown, but I don't know about any damsels. Greenborough is everywhere. He is. And the damsel rode on before Sir Yowie Hans, and said to him, "Why dost thou follow me, thou kitchen boy? I counsel thee to throw aside thy spear and shield, and flee betimes. For wert thou as mighty as Sir Lancelot or Sir Tristram, thou shouldest not pass a valley near this place, called the Pass Perilous. Damsel, he answered he, let him that feareth flee. As for me, it were indeed a shameful thing to turn after so long a journey. As he spake, they came upon a tower as white as snow, with mighty battlements and double moats round it. And over the tower gate hung 50 shields of diverse colours. Before the tower walls they saw a fair meadow, wherein were many knights and squires in pavilions, for on the morrow there was a tournament at the castle. Then the lord of the castle, seeing a knight armed at all points, with a damsel and a page riding towards the tower, came forth to meet them, and his horse and harness, with his shield and spear, were all of a red colour. When he came near Sir Yowie Hands and saw his armour of all black, he thought him his own brother, the Black Knight, and so cried aloud, Brother! What do ye here within these borders? Nay, said the damsel, it is not thy brother, but a kitchen knave of Arthur's court, who hath slain thy brother, and overcome thy other brother, the Green Knight. Now I do defy thee, cried the Red Knight to Sir Yowie Hands, and put his spear in rest and spurred his horse. Then I love how every time they meet someone, the damsel's like, please kill him! And they're like, yeah, sure, let's go for it. Introducing the terribly named Paz Perilous due to recent installation of handrails and narrow gauge railway. Then both knights turned back a little space and ran together with all their might, till their horses fell to the earth. Then with their swords they fought fiercely for the space of 3 hours, and at last Sir Yowie Hands overcame his foe, and smote him to the ground. Then the Red Knight prayed his mercy, and said, Slay me not, noble knight, and I will yield to thee, with 60 knights to do thy bidding. All avails not, said Sir Yowie Hands. Save this damsel, pray me to release thee. Then did he lift his sword to slay him. But the damsel cried aloud, Slay him not, Yowie Hands, for he is a noble knight. Then Sir Yowie Hands bade him rise up, and thank the damsel, which straightway he did, and afterwards invited them to his castle, and made goodly cheer. But notwithstanding all Sir Yowie Hands' mighty deeds, the damsel ceased not to revile and chide him, at which the Red Knight marvelled much, and caused his 60 knights to watch Sir Yowie Hands, that no villainy might happen to him. And on the morrow they heard mass and broke their fast, and the Red Knight came before Sir Yowie Hands with his 60 knights, and proffered him homage and fealty. I thank thee, answered he, and when I call upon thee, thou shalt come before my lord King Arthur at his court, and yield yourselves to him. That will surely do, said the Red Knight. So Sir Behemoth, Sir Yowie Hands, and the damsel departed. 3 hours is longer than my streams, very true. And as she constantly reviled and tormented him, he said to her, Damsel, ye are discourteous thus always to rebuke me, for I have done you a service. For all your threats of knights that shall destroy me, all they who come lie in the dust before me. Now therefore I pray you rebuke me no more till you see me beaten, or a resent, and then bid me go from you. There shall soon meet thee a knight who shall repay thee all thy deeds, thou boaster. answered she, for, save King Arthur, he is the man of most worship in all the world. It will be a great honour to encounter him. Besides King Arthur, the greatest man in all the world, we've established is Lancelot. But is it going to be Gawain in this one? Because obviously that's his bro, and it's going to be like, hey, brother. And she's going to be like, wait, what? You're the king's cousin? Sorry, bro. They could totally turn this into a chapter into a 3-core anime show. Yes, you could. This whole chapter. Soon after, they saw them, a city passing fair, and between them and the city was a meadow newly mown, wherein there many goodly tents. Seest thou yonder blue pavilion? Oh, we're gonna meet. Yes, we have the Power Ranger Knights in this, and we're slowly getting our way. Does that make us the monster? We are the monster, rah rah rah. Seest thou yonder blue pavilion? Said the damsel to Sir Yowie Hands. It is Sir Perseus, the lord of that great city, whose custom is, in all fair weather, to lie in this meadow and joust with his knights. As she spake, Sir Sir Blue, who had espied them coming, sent a messenger to meet Sir Yowie Hands, and ask him if he came in war or peace. Say to thy lord, he answered, that I care not whether of the twain it be. So, when the messenger gave his reply, Sir Blue came out to fight with Sir Yowie Hands, and, making ready, they rode their steeds against each other, and when their spears shivered asunder, they fought with their swords, and for more than 2 hours, the length of this stream, did they hack and hew at each other, till their shields and hauberks were all dinted with many blows, and they themselves were sorely wounded. And at the last, Sir Yowie Hands smote Sir Blue on the helm, so that he fell grovelling to the earth. And when he unlaced his helm to slay him, the damsel prayed for his life. That I will gladly grant, answered Sir Yowie Hands, for it were pity such a noble knight should die. Gramercy, said Sir Blue, for now I certainly know that it was thou who slewest my brother, the Black Knight, Sir Payard. Sir Black, and overcome my brothers, the Green Knight Sir Green, and the Red Knight Sir Red. And since thou hast overcome me also, I will do thee homage and fealty, and place at thy command 100 knights to do thy bidding. Do we have like 200 knights now? But when the damsel saw Sir Blue overthrown, she marvelled greatly at the might of Sir Yowie Hands, and said, What manner of man may ye be? For now I am sure that thee be come of noble blood, and truly never did woman revile knight as I have done thee, and yet ye ever courteously borne with me, which surely never had been, were ye not of gentle and noble lineage. Only the gentle and noble lineages can put up with this nonsense. Lady, replied Sir Yowie Hands, a knight is little worth who may not bear with damsel. And so whatsoever ye said to me, I took no heed, save only at times when your scorn angered me. It made me all the stronger against those with whom I fought, and thus have ye furthered me in many battles. But whether I be born of gentle blood or no, I have done you gentle service, and peradventure will do better still, ere I depart from you. Alas, said she, weeping at his courtesy, forgive me, fair Sir Yowie Hands, all that I have missaid and misdone against you. With all my heart, said he, and since you now speak fairly to me, I am passing glad of heart, and methinks I have the strength to overcome whatever knights I shall henceforth encounter. Sir Blue prayed them to come to his pavilion, and set before them wines and spices, and made them great cheer. So they rested that night, and on the morrow the damsel and Sir Yowie Hands rose and heard mass. And when they had broken their fast, they took their leave of Sir Blue. Fair damsel, said he, whither led ye this night? Sir, answered she, to Castle Dangerous. It's gonna be dangerous, my friend. Where my sister is besieged by the Knight of the Redlands. I know him well, said Sir Blue, for the most perilous knight alive, a man without mercy, and with the strength of 7 men. God save thee, Sir Yowie Hands, from him, and enable thee to overcome him, for the Lady Lions, who he besiegeth, is a fair lady as there liveth in the world. Thou sayest true, said the damsel, for I am her sister, and men call me Lint, or the Wild Maiden. Now I would have thee know, said Sir Blue to Sir Yowie Hands, that the knights of the Redlands hath kept that siege more than 2 years, and prolonged the time, hoping that Sir Lancelot or Sir Tristram or Sir Lamorak may come and battle with him. For these 3 knights divide between them all knighthood, and thou, if thou mayest match the knights of the Redlands, shall well be called the 4th knight of the world. I love how Gawain isn't in that list. Because he doesn't deserve to be. I just love that he is. I love that Gawain's a very famous knight. But he's not a good one. Their arms get so sore. Sir, said Sir Yowie Hands, I would fain have that good fame, and truly I have come of a great and honourable lineage, and so that you and this fair damsel will conceal it, I will tell ye my descent. Excuse me while I, show off the fact that I am royalty, or at least royalty adjacent, via my cousinage. Gawain is truly the Taylor Lautner of the Knights of the Round. He is, and I love it so much. And when they swore to keep it a secret, he told them, my name is Sir Gareth of Orkney. My father was King Lot. My mother the Lady Belisent, King Arthur's sister. Sir Gawain, Sir Agravain, and Sir Gaheris are my brethren, and I am the youngest of them all. But as yet King Arthur and the court know me not, who I am. When he had thus told them, they both wondered greatly. And the damsel, Lynette, sent the dwarf forward to her sister, to tell her of their coming. Then did Dame Lioness inquire what manner of man the knight who was becoming her rescuer, and the dwarf told her of all Sir Yowie Hands' deeds, by the way, how he had overthrown Sir Key and left him for dead, how he had battled with Sir Lancelot and was knighted of him, how he had fought and slain the thieves, how he had overcome the 2 knights who kept the river passage, how he had fought with and slain the Black Knight, how he had overcome the Green Knight, the Red Knight, and last of all the Blue Knight, Sir Blue. Then was Dame Lioness passing glad, and sent the dwarf back to Sir Yowie Hands with great gifts, thanking him for his courtesy, and taking such a labour on him for her sake, and praying him to be good of heart and courage. And as the dwarf returned, he met the Knight of the Redlands, who asked him whence he came. "I came here with the sister." Yes, it is the dwarf talking. "I came here with the sister of my lady of the castle," said the dwarf, "who hath been now to King Arthur's court, and brought a knight with her to take the battle on him." "Then this is her trivial lost," said the knight, for though she had brought Sir Lancelot, Sir Tristram, Sir Lamrock. Hey, he casses Gawain! Gawain! Look, he's being included! So happy for him. Clearly, Mr. Red. Other Mr. Red. There's more than one Red in this story. He has collected this a pride flag full of knights. He gayed his way through the lands. "I count myself their equal, and who beside shall be called." Then the dwarf told the knight of the deeds of Sir Yowie Hands had done, but he answered, "I care not for him, whosoever he shall be, for I shall shortly overcome him, and give him shameful death, as to so many others I have done." Somewhere Gawain is looking up like, someone remembered me! Yay! Then the damsel, Lynette, and Sir Yowie Hands left Sir Blue and rode on through a forest to a large plain, where they saw many pavilions, and hard by a castle passing fair. But as they came near, Sir Yowie Hands saw upon the branches of some trees which grew there the dead bodies of 40 knights hanging, with rich armour on them, their shields and swords about their necks, and golden spurs upon their heels. "What meaneth this?" said he, amazed. "Lose not thy courage, fair sir," replied the damsel, "at this shameful sight, for all these knights came hither to rescue my sister, and when the Knight of the Redlands had overcame them, he put them to this piteous death without mercy, and in such wise he will treat thee also, unless thou bearest thee more valiantly than they." "Truly he useth shameful customs," said Sir Yowie Hands, "and it is a marvel that he hath endured so long." They rode onward to the castle, and found them double-moated, and heard the sea waves dashing on one side of the walls. Then said the damsel, "See you that ivory horn hanging upon the sycamore tree? The Knight of the Redlands hath hung it there, that any knight may blow thereon, and then will he himself come out and fight him. But I pray thee sound it not till high noontide, for now it is but daybreak, and till noon his strength increases to the might of 7 men." "Let that be as it may, fair damsel," answered he, "for were he stronger knight than ever lived, I would not fail him. Either will I defeat him at his mightiest, or die knightly in the field." With that he spurred his horse unto the sycamore, and blew the ivory horn so eagerly that all the castle rang its echoes. Instantly all the knights who were in the pavilions ran forth, and those within the castle looked out from the windows or above the walls at the Knight of the Red Lands arming himself quickly in blood-red armour, with spear and shield and horse trappings of like colour, rode forth into a little valley by the castle walls, so that all the castle at the siege might see the battle. He likes to show off. Be of good cheer, said the damsel Lynette to Sir Yowie Hands, for thy deadly enemy now cometh. And at yonder window is my lady and sister, Dame Lioness. In good sooth, said Sir Yowie Hands, she is the fairest lady I have ever seen, and I would wish no better quarrel than to fight for her. With that he looked up to the window, and saw the Lady Lioness, who waved her handkerchief to her sister and to him to cheer them, then called the Knight of the Red Lands to Sir Yowie Hands. Leave now thy gazing, Sir Knight, and turn to me, for I warn thee that lady is mine. She loveth none of thy fellowship, he answered, but know this, that I love her, even though I've only seen her once, and will rescue her from thee or die. Say ye so, said the Red Knight. Take ye no warning from those knights that hang on yonder trees? For shame that thou so boasted, said Sir Yowie Hands. Be sure that sight hath raised a hatred for thee that will not likely be put out, and given me not fear but rage. Sir Knight, defend thyself, said the Knight of the Redlands, for we talk no longer. Really enjoying how it's always these knights who keep talking about who the damsel loves. Yeah! They're all very, very lady obsessed. Then did they put their spears in rest, and came together at the fullest speed of their horses, and smote each other in the midst of their shields, so that their horses' harness sundered by the shock, and they fell to the ground, and both lay there so long time stunned, that many deemed their necks were broken, and all men said the strange knight was a strong man, and a noble jouster, for none had ever yet so matched the Knight of Redlands. Then in a while they rose, and putting up their shields before them, drew their swords, and fought with fury, running at each other like wild beasts, now striking such buffet that both reeled backwards, now hewing at each other till they shore the harness off into pieces, and left their bodies naked and unarmed. Oh my! Is this This is the riskiest book I've ever read. I also have no idea what's going on in my arms here, but it's just... Oh my! And thus they fought till noon was past. Then, for a time, they rested to get their breath, so sorely staggering and bleeding, that many who beheld them wept for pity. Then they renewed the battle, sometimes rushing so furiously together that they both fell to the ground, and anon changing swords in their confusion. Thus they endured and lashed and struggled until eventide, and no one who saw knew which was the likeliest to win. For though the Knight of the Red Lands was as wildly and subtle warrior, his subtlety made Sir Yowie Hands wilder and wiser too. So once again they rested for a little space, and took their helms off to find breath. But when Sir Yowie Hands' helmet was off, he looked up to Dame Lions, where she leaned gazing and weeping from her window, and when he saw the sweetness of her smiling, All his heart was light and joyful, and staring up, he bade the Knight of the Redlands to make ready. Then did they lace their helmets, and fight together yet afresh, as though they had never fought before. And at the last, the Knight of the Redlands, with a sudden stroke, smote Sir Yowihans on the hand, and that his sword fell from it, and with a second stroke upon the helm, he drove him to the earth. Then cried aloud to damsel Lynette, "Alas, Sir Yowihans, see how my sister weep! Alas, Sir Yowihans, see how my sister weepeth to behold thee fallen!" And when Sir Yowihans heard her words, he sprang upon his feet with strength, and leaping to his sword he caught it, and with many heavy blows pressed so sorely on the Knight of Redlands, that in the end he smote his sword from out his hand, and with a mighty blow upon the head hurled him to the ground. Then Sir Yowihans unlaced his helm, and would have straightway slain him, but the Knight of Redlands yielded, and prayed for mercy. "I may not spare thee," answered he, "because of the shameful death which thou hast given to so many noble knights. Yet hold thy hand, Sir Knight," said he, "and hear the cause. I loved once a fair damsel, whose brother was slain, she told me, by a knight of Sir Arthur's court, either Sir Lancelot or Sir Gawain, and she prayed me, as I truly loved her, and by the faith of my knighthood, to labour daily in deeds of arms, till I should meet with him, and put all the knights of the rounds whom I should overcome to a villainous death, and this I swore to her. Then prayed the earls and knights and barons who stood round Sir Yowihans to spare the Red Knight's life. Truly, replied he, I am loth to slay him, notwithstanding he hath done such shameful deeds, and inasmuch as what he did was done to please his lady, and to gain her love, I blame him less, and for your sakes I will release him, on the agreement that only shall he hold his life, that straightway he depart into the castle, and yield him to the lady there, and make her such amends as she shall ask, for all the trespasses he hath done upon her lands, and afterwards he shall go to Arthur's court, and ask the pardon of Sir Lancelot and Sir Gawain, for all the evil he hath done against them. All this, Sir Knight, I swear to do, said the Knight of the Redlands, and therewithin he did him homage and fealty. Then came the damsel Lynette to Sir Yowihans, and the Knight of the Redlands, and disarmed them, and staunched their wounds. And when the Knight of the Redlands had made amends for all his trespasses, he departed for the court. Then Sir Yowihans, being healed of his wounds, armed himself, and took his horse and spear, and rode straight to the castle of Dame Lyons, for greatly he desired to see her. But when he came to the gate, they closed it fast, and pulled the drawbridge up. And as he marvelled thereat, he saw the Lady Lyons standing at a window, who said, Go thy way as yet, Sir Yowihans, for thou shalt not wholly have my love, until thou be among the worthiest knights of all the world. Go therefore and labour yet in arms for 12 months more, and then return to me. Thank you for saving me, but you're not good enough yet. Go grind more XP, Sir Yowihans, and then I will be interested. Alas, fair lady, said Sir Yowihans, I have scarce deserved this of thee, for sure I am, that I have brought thy love with all the best blood in my body. "Be not aggravated, fair knight," said she, "for none of thy service is forgotten or lost. 12 months will soon be passed in noble deeds, and trust that to my death I shall love thee, and not another." With that, she turned and left the window. God damn! What a bitch. "Sir, you're not ready for me yet. You are not a high enough level to enter the castle. Go grind XP." So Sir Yowie Hands rode away from the castle very sorrowful at heart, and rode he not whither, and lay that night in a poor man's cottage. On the morrow he went forward, and came at noon to a broad lake, and thereby he alighted, being very sad and weary, and rested his head upon his shield, and told his dwarf to keep watch while he slept. Now as soon as he departed, the Lady Lions repented, and greatly longed to see him back, and asked her sister many times of what lineage he was, but the damsel would not tell her, being bound by her oath to Sir Yowie Hands, and said his dwarf knew best. So she called Sir Gringamors, her brother, who dwelt with her, and prayed him ride after Sir Yowie Hands till he found him sleeping, and then to take his dwarf away, and bring him back to her. Anon Sir Gringamors departed, and rode till he came to Sir Yowie Hands, and found him as he lay sleeping by the waterside. Then, stepping stealthily behind the dwarf, he caught him in his arms, and rode off in haste. And though the dwarf cried loudly to his lord for help, and woke Sir Yowie Hands, yet, though he rode full quickly after him, he could not overtake Sir Gringamors. These hoes truly ain't loyal. Such a sundering move. Yeah, and as soon as he's gone, like, damn, why did I do that? That was stupid. I really like him, actually. When Dame Lions saw her brother come back, she was passing glad of heart, and forthwith asked the dwarf of his master's lineage. "He is a king's son," said the dwarf, "and his mother is King Arthur's sister, and his name is Sir Gareth of Orkney, and he is the brother of the good knight Sir Gawain. But I pray you suffer me to go back to my lord, for truly he will never leave this country till he love me again." But when the Lady Lions knew her deliverer was come of such a knightly stock, she longed more than ever to see him again. Absolutely out here stealing dwarves. Now, as Sir Yowie Hands rode in vain to rescue his dwarf, he came to a fair green road, and met a poor man of the country, and asked him if he had seen a knight on a black horse riding with a dwarf of a sad countenance behind him. "Yea," said the man, "I met with such a knight an hour ago. His name was Sir Gringamors. He liveth at that castle 2 miles from hence. But he is a perilous knight, and I counsel ye not to follow him, save ye bear him good will." Then Sir Yowie Hands followed the path which the poor man showed, and came to the castle, and riding to the gate, in great anger he drew his sword, and cried aloud, "Sir Gringamors, thou traitor! Deliver me my dwarf again, or by my knighthood it shall be ill for thee." Then Sir Gringamors looked out the window and said, "Sir Gareth of Orkney, leave thy boasting words, for thou wilt not get thy dwarf again." Why? But the Lady Lions said to her brother, "Nay, brother, but I will that he have his dwarf, for he hath done much for me, and delivered me from the Knight of the Redlands, and well do I love him above all other knights." So Sir Gringamors went down to Sir Gareth, and cried him mercy, and prayed him to alight and take good cheer. Then he alighted, and his dwarf ran to him. And when he was in the hall came the Lady Lioness, dressed royally like a princess, and Sir Gareth was right glad of heart when he saw her. Then she told him how she had made her brother take away his dwarf and bring him back to her, and then she promised him her love, and faithfully to cleave to him and none other all the days of her life. And so they plighted their troth to each other. Then Sir Gringamors prayed him to sojourn at the castle, and willingly he did. For, said he, I have promised to quit the court for 12 months, though I am sure that in the meantime I shall be sought and found by my lord King Arthur and many others. So he sojourned to the castle. Anon the knights, Sir Blue, and Sir Red, and Sir Green, whom Sir Gareth had overthrown, went to King Arthur's court with all the knights whom did them serve, and told the king that they had been conquered by a knight of his name, Yowihans. And as they yet were talking, it was told the king there came another great lord with 500 knights, who, entering in, did homage, and declared himself to be the Knight of Redlands. But my true name, said he, is Ironside, and I am hither sent by one Sir Yowihans, who conquered me, and charged me to yield unto your grace. Thou art welcome, said King Arthur, for thou hast been long a foe to me and mine, and truly I am much beholden to the knight who sent thee. And now, Sir Ironside, if thou wilt amend thy life and hold of me, I will entreat thee as a friend, and make thee Knight of the Round Table. But thou mayest no more be a murderer of noble knights. Then the Knight of the Redlands knelt to the king, and told him of his promise to Sir Yowihans, to never more such shameful customs, and how he had so done but at the prayer of a lady whom he loved. Then knelt he to Sir Lancelot and Sir Gawain, and prayed their pardon for the hatred he had borne. Yes, this particular knight was described to have large but smooth hands, so we've been calling him Sir Yowihans, just to catch you up on the yoke. But the king and all the court marvelled greatly who Sir Yowihans was, for, said the king, he is a full noble knight. And, said Sir Lancelot, truly he is come of honourable blood, else had I not given him the order of knighthood, but he charged me that I should conceal his secret. Now, as they talked thus, it was told King Arthur that his sister, the Queen of Orkney, had come to the court with a great retinue of knights and ladies. Then there was great rejoicing, and the king rose and saluted his sister, and her sons, Sir Gawain, Sir Agravain, and Sir Gaheris, knelt before her and asked her blessing, for during 15 years past they had not seen her. Anon, she said, where is my youngest son, Sir Gareth? For I know he was here a 12-month with you, and that he made a kitchen knave of him. Then the king and all the knights knew that Sir Yowihans and Sir Gareth were the same. Truly, said the knight, I knew him not. Nor I, said Sir Gawain, and both his brothers. Then the king, God be thanked, fair sister, that he proved as worshipful as a knight as any now alive, and by the grace of heaven he shall be found forthwith, if he be anywhere within these 7 realms. Then said Sir Gawain and his brethren, Lord, if ye will give us leave to go seek him. But Sir Lancelot said, It were better that the king should send a messenger to Dame Lioness, and pray her to come hither with all speed, and she will counsel where ye shall find him. It is well, replied the king, and sent a messenger quickly to Dame Lioness. When she heard the message, she promised she would come forthwith, and told Sir Gareth what the messenger had said. What? I pray you, said he, tell them not where I am, but when my lord King Arthur asketh for me, advise him thus, that he proclaim a tournament before this castle on Assumption Day? What kind of thing is that? And that the knight who proveth best shall win yourself and all your lands. Bro, you already had her! Why are you doing this? So the Lady Lions departed and came to King Arthur's court, and there was right nobly welcomed. And when they asked her where Sir Gareth was, she said she could not tell. But Lord, she said, with thy good will I proclaim a tournament before my castle on the Feast of Assumption, whereof the prize shall be myself and all my lands. Then if it be proclaimed that you, Lord, and your knights will be there, I will find knights on my side to fight you and yours, and thus I am sure ye hear tidings of Sir Gareth. Okay, said the king. So Sir Gareth sent messengers privately to Sir Blue, Sir Ironside, and charged them to be ready on the day appointed, with their comrades of knights to aid him and his party against the king. This makes no sense. Gareth's like, I don't want to go home. The king sent for you? Could you tell him to like come to a little war with me? We'll have a little fight, it'll be fun. I too don't want to assume anything about Assumption Day. Although I do want to do a bit of a Google. This has gone so out of hand. The Feast of Assumption. I'm going to give that a Google. Google knows all. Whee! Assumption of Mary is what it's come up with. The Assumption of Mary. Okay. Let's have a little read. The Assumption of Mary is a Catholic dogma that Mary, at the end of her early life, was taken body and soul to heaven, defined by Pope Pius the 12th on the 1st of November 1950. Yeah, that's not right. It's celebrated on the 15th of August. Hello, Doppel. It has been a wee time. Yes, I do appreciate you guys' patience while I had my little break. I very much needed it. It leaves the question of whether Mary died or whether she was raised to eternal life without bodily death. Okay, so the word assumption derives from the Latin word meaning taken up. Oh, so she was assumed. Like consumed? Assumption. I am definitely, that is right. Oh no. So Sir Gareth went to war against King Arthur for funsies, but not quite war, but tournament, but kinda, but not. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Oh my god, how much of this chapter is left? Holy shit. I kept going because I thought it would be the end of the chapter. Or assume as in I am assuming command. It might be assume as in assuming command. That would be good. Eh? Nay, I deem it my respite rather than thine, considering my absent from 2 prior engagements. That's true. Now I need to figure out where the heck I was after doing that. Here's the dwarf. Here. I'm gonna give that a highlight. And that's where we're gonna carry on next time. But for now, I think we're gonna stop for the day. We did our 2 hours. I did it. In fact, I did a wee bit more than 2 hours because I'm cool like that. But anyway, as I said, thank you for your patience during my little break. I'm hoping to go back to my regularly scheduled broadcasting. I'm gonna give an attempt at Stars in Time tomorrow. We'll see if I cry, and if I don't, then we're good. And if I do, then I might still need to avoid that game for a little while. But we can but try, you know? We gotta put my emotions on trial. All this makes more sense when you consider that there was no internet or VTubers back in the day, so these nights are nothing better to do. You're not wrong, and that makes a lot of thing. Imagine how more well-adjusted they would be, or at least they would fight each other over whose Oshi is head. I think you mean hotter, but the fact you misspelled is wonderful. I must tender my sincerest apologies should I continue to intrude upon your personal. That's okay. You can intrude on my streams. You're welcome to intrude on my streams. Henceforth, I shall endeavour to do naught but lend an ear. It is no problem. Intrude on the streams. This is fine. So, thank you so much, everyone, for coming to today's stream. Thank you, everyone in chat. Thank you, anyone alert. Thank you, anyone watches the VOD. I will hopefully be back tomorrow with some Stars in Time, where hopefully I will not cry. Yay! If you have not already, I'd highly appreciate it if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you've done that, you should go on Twitch and follow. I may have forgotten to press the go button for Twitch today, so Twitch actually didn't get today's stream. Purely because I am in fact in Egypt. But that's okay. I can be in Egypt sometimes. We're allowed to crit fail on rolls sometimes. That's natural. And then hopefully Limbers on Tuesday. Until then, if you've done all that stuff to support, then you should check out Patreon. Patreon's actually getting like extra videos now. Patreon's had 2 extra videos in the last couple months, and I already have the next one recorded for them. So they're getting like little behind the scenes things. They've already seen this outfit for one. I already showed them the outfits. I showed them a game that I really enjoyed that I'm not going to play on the stream. That I have finished. It's called Gnosia. It's like Among Us, but a visual novel, and you're time looping. It's very good. Highly recommend it. There's also an anime out at the moment. Definitely recommend that. And next month, I'll give a teaser for next month. I did a little hand cam because I built something. I apprehend that I am belated for this day's engagement. I shall peruse recapitulation and not peruse the VOD. So yeah, that's the Patreon. I'm just gonna plug that today. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm trying to redo my website as the Briny Hub, but I realized that I hate doing website design. So what I need to do is get a little link tree going or something that just has all my links to all the wonderful things I've done. But until then, that I'll just do one thing at a time. I think that would be best. Whee! Sorry, I really wanted to do that for fun. Anyway, I think that's all I have for you today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Whoop! I had fun. I hope you had fun. This has been Brandy Rose Smith. I'm the Forbidden Library. Goodbye. Where's my end screen? There it is.